Ever since LA Fights has been announced, people have been asking me, Beast, who you wrestling? And I've had no answer. And honestly, I really don't care who it is. So right now, on August 29th, PAPW Alley Fights at the PAPW school in East Haven, the original Beast of New England, your PAPW Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion, I put out an open challenge to any competitor on the roster. So fans, make sure you reserve your seats. Showtimes are 3 p.m., 5 p.m., and I'll be appearing at 7 p.m. And I'll see you all at Alley Fights. And just remember, Beast forever rules.
All right, everyone, we're back with another Sunday night episode of Pro Wrestle Zone podcast. Switching things up a little bit here. We have some absences. Hopefully one of them returns here shortly. And, yeah, go ahead and introduce yourselves.
What's going on, guys? As you know, Dan the Beast 94.
And as you know here, Mark Boy 316. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Hey.
So, SummerSlam 2020. This was at the Thunderdome. Great time. Yeah.
More like the toilet bowl. You know,
the toilet bowl.
That's one thing about this whole thing. I really didn't mind the whole Thunderdome aspect of like having virtual fans, but it just looked like one big giant Zoom call. It's like hello, and everybody just joins the big group chat. It's like, hey.
Well,
and
are they supposed to do like? Are they trying to make it seem like the crowd noise is coming from the giant Zoom call, or is it like?
You know what? I think that's something that they just added in there to just make it seem more, realistic. Like, hey, the fans are cheering, but it's like you can clearly see some of the fans like, lips moving, but it's like, I mean, obviously you can't hear everybody, but it's.
But did they want us to believe it's them, or are they just like, fuck it, we're just gonna throw some noise in to make it more aesthetic?
I think that's the way they do it because it's kind of weird for somebody to just go up to their phone and yell on their phone, and then somebody walks in and like, what the fuck are you doing? It's like, I'm in the Thunderdome.
I know a few people that were trying to get in it, but they weren't able to.
Yeah. They've been known to pipe in chants. Remember the Randy Orton Edge match from Backlash? Hey, piping in the sounds.
Oh, God. Howard Finkel is just narrating.
That was actually pretty cool. I like that. The Howard Finkel part. That was cool.
So, Dan, you have a rundown of the match listing here?
I do have a rundown of the match listings. I do have a little bit of the pre-show here. Also, I didn't see the match, but obviously we saw Apollo retain the United States Championship against MVP, and from the looks of it, the current U.S. title that Apollo was holding around, I guess he finally dropped it, and we finally have some type of recognition for the new design instead of him just carrying both belts.
Yeah. If you noticed, MVP was actually using his entrance music from, I think, 2000. When did MVP get released? 2010?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. He was using his theme that they switched to for a few weeks, and then he was released. So I actually really don't like that theme. I love his original theme song. I don't know about you guys.
Yep.
Honestly, they all sound pretty much the same to me. I mean, all they practically do is just shorten it just to say, hey, get to the fucking point. This is what the theme's about. I'm coming. Like, all right, it's practically a scene that you would use in the bed, but hey, you know what? This is wrestling. So,
well, I think by the end of this pay-per-view, someone was coming backstage, and you think, God damn it.
Well, he was nowhere in sight, so you already know what he was Dylan. But anyway, and then we get to a pretty touchy promo here with WWE announcing that this is Renee Young's last night in the WWE. Maybe some speculations of her joining her husband in AEW.
Yeah, it's kind of. It doesn't surprise me that they didn't put her on the main show because they're like, oh, she's leaving. We're just gonna throw her on the pre-show. It would have been nice to have her on the main show at least, but what do you expect?
Right. And you know what, from the way she was, the way her mood was, she seemed pretty happy about it, you know, like, hey, I'm out of here, you know, see you later. But
yeah. It's like your last day on the job and you just don't give a fuck. So you're just like flipping everyone off, telling people off. Like she gave two.
Exactly.
Good for her. Good for her.
You know, probably on the low anyway. She's probably getting paid anyway by some other organization. Wink.
What do you guys think of them bringing back Talking Smack as soon as they release her? They bring back Talking Smack.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. You know, I think that's just a concept that should only be used like as a network exclusive. I mean, in my opinion, I mean, it really shouldn't be something that should be broadcasted, you know, just to waste TV time for, you know, talents who should be on TV. And, you know, I kind of consider that more of a Renee Young show, but for them to just, you know, what's her name? Kayla Braxton. I mean, doesn't really matter at this point. I mean, we've seen some good moments from Talking Smack. I mean, if you guys recall you know, I would probably say Miz's best promo.
Oh,
you know,
God. Yeah.
Against Daniel Bryan. You know, I think it'd be a good comeback for sure. I mean, who knows for how long in the long run. But anyway, let's get on to the first match here. We had the SmackDown Women's Championship with Bayley versus Asuka. Now, if you guys recall, this is one of the two matches that Asuka would be performing here tonight. And this was definitely not the best match, but it was back and forth, to say the least.
Yes.
I think the other women's title match was significantly better.
I agree.
But, you know, this kind of...
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, I really got bored and just was not feeling this one at all. Like, I just have no thoughts on this. I could have cared less going in. And, you know, like I said, the second women's title match really surprised me, and I actually really got into it. So, you know, I guess these days you can't have both matches deliver, can you?
And the way I see it, I believe there was better spots in the second match rather than the first match. I mean, obviously, we've seen some, you know, surprising moments with Asuka kicking out of the Bayley to belly suplex. And, you know, and basically Bayley was mainly limb targeting the knee of Asuka, trying to take her out. And then, of course, we would get Banks interfering. She practically just takes the bullet for Bayley, and Bayley retains the championship, getting the whole clean sweep. I'm not sure if you guys saw that promo section with her and the broom. Like, it's going to be a clean sweep. And I'm like, what are you doing with a and then basically Bayley just taunts the Thunderdome crowd. It's like, ooh, you know. Like, but as we go on into the next set of backstage segments, we see Dom with his mother and Rey Mysterio getting prepared for his match, and basically just telling Rey Mysterio, like, hey, listen, Dad, I don't want you to get involved. I'm a man now. Let me take care of my business. Now, just to reflect and reminisce a little bit, you could tell we're getting fucking old. It's like, here I was 15 years ago watching SummerSlam 2005, and you have Dom sitting right in the front row as he sees his father, Eddie Guerrero, and Rey Mysterio fighting for the custody of Dominic in, 2005. And, hard to believe it was so long ago. And, the fact that he's actually competing in a SummerSlam match a debut match 15 years later. Kind of mind blowing, it just really makes you feel like you actually grew up with this person, even though you've only seen Dom on WWE television on such short notices. Rarely didn't see Dominic as much.
I'll never forget at Great American Bash. It was Ray and Eddie, and Ray won, so the secret was kept safe. You thought that was it, and then Eddie comes out on SmackDown. He's like, I lied. It's just like as simple as that. The whole stipulation's out the window, and you have this. Look, it's a guilty pleasure storyline. Let's be honest. It's enjoyable. It may not be the best, but I had connection going into this match because I was like, hell yeah! Like I remember when Dominic had the frosty highlights, sitting ringside.
Oh my gosh.
His
And this was like back in
Yeah.
the day. This was back in the day too with like clothes, trending of clothes, back in the day 2000, like early to mid 2000s, everybody was wearing baggy fucking clothes. So it's like you wore like a 2X shirt and probably like a size 40 and pants within the waist, and it's like, clearly that didn't fit you. But it's very cool to see somebody that you grew up with, not necessarily on a physical aspect, but just knowing like, hey, I was a kid around that time that you were a kid, and now here you are, making your debut, about to make your father proud, hopefully. But the only thing that I was concerned about was WWE already pulling the trigger on Dominic, like, hey, we want you to debut at SummerSlam. The way I see it, I think he should have went through the traditional phase of going through the territories, going through the independent scenes, but obviously we're not able to, go through that at the moment due to the global pandemic that's going on that has shooken the entire wrestling world.
You want to know what I would have done here? Okay, this is bold. I didn't expect him to do this, but here's what I would have had happen. At the end of the match, kind of I would have had probably Dominic lose. I think it was best that he lost here. But I would have had Retribution come out and just start beating the fuck out of everybody. And then Dominic is revealed as the leader of Retribution, turns heel on Ray.
Oh, boy.
Talking about pulling a fucking trigger. I think that would have been controversial. It would have been very unexpected. Going into this, I was like, all right, there's probably like an 8% chance of that happening. But, I was kind of disappointed that it just kind of went how you would expect. But, I was very impressed by his in-ring skills. I really was.
Just about. Yeah, he can sell pretty good. He's a pretty good seller.
Yeah, but Mark, what'd you think of this match overall, man?
Overall, I thought like you said, it was a good debut for Dominic to go in. I thought he's a good seller. He sold the moves all right. He hit his spots. He didn't really botch any moves. I thought he did pretty good. But overall, good match. I liked the visual at the end that Ray was handcuffed to the rope, that he was making them look at him getting beat up. So I liked that. That was pretty cool.
Can we just get rid of the eye patch already? God damn it. Like,
yeah.
It's so damn stupid. And I love the Halloween Havoc tribute here.
That was cool.
I marked out when I saw that, because to me, that's Rey Mysterio's best match.
Yeah, match of the year, 97. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That was, a beautiful, basically Seth Rollins showing that he was very inspired by Rey Mysterio there, but at the same time showing a little bit of intimidation, like, hey, I'm about to kick your son's ass.
Yeah.
Come on, big game time.
While wearing your gear.
Yeah, exactly. But one thing that I would have loved to see that would have been like a nice piece to finish off the whole segment in the back was, before Dominic leaving, Ray being like, hold up, there's one more thing I want to give you. And he pulls out a mask. And he's like, take this.
That's Prince Mysterio right there, man.
Exactly.
And you have it and you have the crown, like the old school WCW crown instead of the cross. I'm expecting I know Dominic, I read a report the other day where he said he wants a mask, but he wants to wait for the right time. And I'm like, all right, I respect that. You know, obviously we already know what he looks like, so it can't be too effective, but it's more of a tribute than anything else.
Yeah.
And you know what? The way I see it, I think at the right place at the right time, I believe it should take place at WrestleMania. If they decide, WWE decide to pull the trigger on a Dom and Rey Mysterio feud.
Yeah. Oh my God, I would love that. I don't think it'll happen. I really don't. I don't trust them to do that because that would make sense. I think Dominic should. I think he should be a heel. I really do. But whatever.
But anyway, going on to the next match, which I really want to rant about this match. This match pissed me off. It really did. But let's get into it. We had Garza and Andrade taking on the Street Profits for the Raw Tag Team titles. First of all, Solo Cup Pyro? What the fuck is that?
Okay, like, as much as I hate the Street Profits, I was like, all right, that's kind of good in a bad way. But I needed a fucking Solo Cup to get through this match.
You know,
honestly.
I kind of felt like that was a little bit of foreshadowing and indication, like, hey, you better drink up because it's going to be a long night. And
Oh, I got the Steel Reserve tonight, 8.1% right there.
boy, you got the corner store liquor. Oh shit!
Oh, I did. Yeah, see, there you go. He knows.
First I know I used to drink that, but oh yucks! I used to drink them by the 40s though. Ugh, I don't know why.
It's not that bad. This is my first time trying Steel Reserve. I actually kind of like it, and then I have a Platinum over here too. So.
One thing you
But
gotta
you
think
know,
of, no, Bianca Belair didn't show up. Where Bianca Belair in this whole thing? She could have been there. Where is she? Like, use her for God's sakes.
She was getting her ponytail tightened or something. I don't know. Her braid.
Oh.
She was connecting to the Tree of Life on Pandora.
Oh.
and you know something. Here's what really pissed me off about this match. Throughout the beginning portion of this match, you had Garza and Andrade basically going melee on Montez. It's a 2-on-1 advantage, and when Montez hits the somersault over the top and they catch him, you have Hawkins just sitting there on the apron like, come on, let's go. Let's, cheering him on to like wake up and, get back on his feet. Or it's like, they're right in front of you. Why the fuck aren't you attacking them? Why are you just standing there like, you're like Mick in the Rocky movies, like, oh, come on, you bum, get up. Like, no, help him out.
I'm gonna be honest. After the entrances of this match, I left to go get alcohol. This was my break match, so I can't really comment on this. That's how much I hate the Street Profits. I love Andrade, Angel Garza. I haven't really seen too much of his work, so I'm not quite sure on him. But yeah, I'll let you guys handle this one.
But basically throughout this match, Dawkins showed no offense. It was mainly Montez getting meleeed like it was just like a normal handicap match. And something that I found funny, Mark, I'm not sure if you noticed this, but when Garza removed his pants, Zelina looked very pleased. And it's like, ooh, that.
There's a black match in the future.
But basically, finally Montez gets the hot tag, but the in-ring time for D'Angelo Hawkins was such a short-lived, fight. It was like you get a hot tag, you start meleeing on all these guys, only for you to tag back in Montez. And then there was a botched kick throughout the duration of the match from Garza. It looked like he was trying to hit Montez within the temple, but didn't look like it really paid off too well. And Zelina gets knocked down. No Andrade as when Zelina was knocked down. Andrade was like, "Oh my God, I have to check on Zelina." Garza goes for the tag. He's like, "Where's Andrade? What the fuck?" Turns around, gets the spine buster. And, Montez hits like this corkscrew style frog splash, which another thing. A lot of frog splashes in this pay-per-view. This was a frog splash special.
Yeah.
But yeah, Montez hits like. Oh, go ahead, Mark.
I said that was the third already in the pay-per-view since then. That was the third one. Like, holy crap! Like, that was a lot of frog splash.
But yeah, he hits like a modified version of the frog splash, kind of like a corkscrew, which is I kind of thought that was very innovative. But the Street Profits end up retaining the Raw Tag Team titles tonight, and I'm not sure if that's gonna lead to any type of downfall between Garza and Andrade as a tag team, because I actually like seeing them as a tag team. I find those guys as two very articulate aristocrats. Or aristocrats, I should say. Aristocrats.
What is this, Disney or something?
Whoops. My bad. But yeah, I like them as a tag team. WWE could just like pull the trigger on them and say, hey, let's take these guys to the moon. It would definitely be a nice way to catapult those guys.
Supposedly,
Oh, keep going, Mark.
Supposedly Vince is comparing Garza to the next Eddie Guerrero. He thinks highly of him. So, that's what I'm saying.
I personally love Andrade. Because I see what you're saying. You like him as a tag team, but I don't, because there's so much potential with Andrade. I watched a lot of his NXT matches, and it's just like, that dude, he knows how to work. I would rather see him, honestly, be a world champion. I really would. So it's kind of a shame to see him come out as a tag team. And that's no fault to Angel Garza either. It's just, it's a shame.
Right. Yeah. And, speaking of those two guys, where the hell is Austin Theory? Because the last time we seen Austin Theory, he basically got betrayed by Garza and Andrade, and he ended up joining Seth's Messiah stable with Buddy Murphy. But I haven't seen him in not that I watch Raw anyway, but, just a little concerned that they haven't used him in the storylines.
Okay. I'm going to sound stupid here, but who's Austin Theory? I'm sorry. I don't watch it enough.
So
he used to be the Evolve heavyweight.
I haven't really watched Evolve either.
Oh,
we got Jay. Is he here? Turn your video on.
Me.
Ladies and gentlemen, Double J, JJ Sins. How you doing, bro?
Oh, there he is. But
sorry about that. There he is, Double J himself.
How are you? Sorry about that. I didn't mean to interrupt.
What is going on, my friend?
A whole lot is going on. A whole lot. But as far as wrestling wise, I caught a few matches and I saw the ending, shortly after. Right on.
All right, so DJ, right now we're going over the Garza Andrade match versus the Street Profits. What was your thoughts about that match?
Unfortunately, I did not get to see that match.
No, fortunately,
unfortunately, I had texted Street. Do you know our Twitter conversation?
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw that. I texted Street hey, I'm gonna be a little late to watching the SummerSlam show, and I caught maybe the last 2 or 3 matches. How long was it?
Do you remember my response to that? I said, "Lucky
you."
you."
You told me that you were like, "I'm envious of you. You're lucky. Consider yourself lucky." Was it that awful?
We'll get to that.
Okay,
yeah.
I'm just saying, the beginning, when I saw all those strings, I thought that wasn't bad. It was different. It's better than not having anybody in the stands. I'm sure you guys went over that. I apologize for being late for this. Even though, I mean, we're the greatest shit show in town. But, I kind of dug that stream. It's better than nothing, man.
Right.
So,
It kind of just looks like a big billboard game of Guess Who.
I love that game.
I love that. Cool, Guess Who, right?
JJ, you want to move your camera up a little bit? You're kind of cut off halfway.
Hey, I'm sorry.
There you go. You're good.
All right, cool. And I'm sorry, I don't know your name. I'm JJ. What's your name? Our guest. Mark?
Yes. Mine is Mark.
Right.
Yes, Mark. Yes.
Nice.
Nice to meet you, sir.
All right. So, yeah. Dan, take it away.
All right. So we're going on to the next match here. This is a no DQ / loser leaves WWE match between Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. Now, obviously, the original stipulation of this match was supposed to be a hair versus hair match. Until the whole kidnapping incident between Sonya Deville and the highly obsessive fan, decided to reconsider and change the whole match stipulation, and they decided, hey, we're just going to do no DQ, loser leaves WWE. And I tell you what, when I see Mandy Rose coming out, making her entrance, did she go for a dip before, preparing for her match?
I was thinking that.
It looks like she just had like a bathing suit over her wrestling attire. I'm like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
I didn't see so.
I don't know. It was just so bad. It was just so bad. And just looking at it, I mean, don't get me wrong. She shares a lot of qualities when it comes to like appearance wise, like Trish Stratus. Like she definitely has like the face of like being like the next cover female superstar. But that attire got to go. That attire definitely got to go. I don't know what she was thinking with that. And, wetting her hair, making it look all slicked back. I'm like, that shit ain't cute. I mean, don't get me wrong. You're beautiful as hell, but that shit was not cute. And then, this match was decent for what it was. I mean, they had a weak brawl during the outside of the ring. Mandy managed to hit a suplex on the ramp. One thing that kind of baffled me, I'm not sure if this was because she was trying to stall time for Sonya to be prepared with a steel chair, but could she not lift up a fucking table?
Yeah, I was wondering about that table spot we never got. It's not often you see that.
Right.
Well, we did see a table spot later, so yeah.
But why?
What was that, Mark?
No, I was gonna say, why set up the table just to slide chairs across it? Like, use the table for something. Use it for something. There you go. Like, what's the point? Like,
yep.
Very cute. That's what happened. Really? That's what I missed out on.
Oh yeah.
I tried to tell you.
Instead of her sliding beers, we get sliding chairs. And, I would have expected like a nice little high spot from Mandy, maybe like a splash, something simple, but, nothing too complicating in her repertoire. But, Mandy ends up getting the win, and we see a horrible, I guess you would say, victory dance with her and Otis trying to do the caterpillar.
Really?
It was that bad. It was like, listen, you already look like a floppy fish as it is with that swimsuit. Please don't do the caterpillar dance.
I thought he was cashing in tonight. I really did.
What could he have been cashing in on?
I thought Bray Wyatt. I thought that was going to be the big swerve.
Mm-hmm. You want to know what I thought about that match, even though I didn't see it?
Oh boy.
Well, I know I thought Where do fish sleep? In a waterbed.
Well, you know what? I'll give you that one because that kind of fits the whole concept of Mandy's attire today with that swimsuit. But anyway, getting on to the next match here, which we already talked about earlier, which was Seth Rollins taking on Dominic Mysterio, who was making his WWE in-ring debut. And like I said, I believe, just like 15 years in the making. It's like growing up watching Dom back in 2005. I was like 10, 11 years old. And, you practically grew up with the people that you admire. Not saying that I, didn't think that this kid was going to step in the ring 15 years later. But, it's such a cool situation where it's like 15 years ago, you had a SummerSlam match between Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio fighting over the custody of Dominic in a ladder match. And now here we are 15 years later with his father accompanying him down to the ring against the Messiah, Seth Rollins, who was kind of paying tribute to Rey Mysterio with that Halloween Havoc attire, which I did not see coming. But I'll tell you what, Dominic Mysterio's offense was very limited, but it was very good for what it was.
It was I don't know. I feel like he's still trying to feel out attire. I was actually kind of disappointed by his ring attire. And if you noticed, his hood had a mask built into it, but he didn't come out wearing the hood. Right. So I was like, did you just forget? Like, and then the whole time he was fixing the hood. Like, it's like Rey Mysterio at WrestleMania 21 when his mask broke and he kept fixing it the whole time. And like this match, it just felt like he was fixing the hood the whole time. I'm like, dude, fucking wear the hood to the ring and then just fucking like snap it off. Like have little buttons on it so you can just snap it off. But he wasn't even wearing the hood. So I mean, it's cool to see Ray's wife Angie because I can't even remember the last time we saw her on TV. So it was cool to see her. The little Mysterio family. But like I said earlier, Dominic held his own. I was actually pleasantly surprised by his performance, honestly.
Okay. Oh.
Part of me was like, I was going to ask you guys your opinion. Do you think he kind of worked his way up a little bit? Because this obviously was handed to him just because of who his father is.
Something, I know he's been wanting to get into the wrestling business the past couple of years now, and he's been making his way up, being trained by his father and who knows who else. But the way I see it, I mean, you practically just took the words out of my mouth. Like, yeah, this was practically all handed to him. I mean, he didn't have no time in the independent circuit. He didn't have no time to work his way around the territories. And like I said, due to this whole pandemic situation,
right. Not like Cody Hall even said, yes, I could have signed to NXT. I could have gotten this and that. But Cody Hall said, I wanted to make my own name. And I didn't want to, and I totally respect that. However, I did listen. I do listen to Keeping It 100. And I heard Conan saying that Dominic's been training for a minute. And that he had a lot of the right people around him teaching him. So the fact that DVD Freak and you, Dan, both were impressed by his offense, I'm not shocked because I mean, you got the pedigree around him. Right? Plus the genetics, and he's tall. I don't know. I'm gonna go back and watch this match. I would like to see what he did. So, yeah.
Even Charlotte was in NXT, and look at Charlotte's father, greatest of all time, Ric Flair. At least to me.
Yeah.
So it's just like to see Dominic on the quotations main roster is it's pretty interesting to see that. He, I don't know. I guess Vince liked his performance at SummerSlam 2005, I guess.
But, the whole thing with Dominic in this match. I think it could have been an upset in a way, and it could have been a way with, no pun intended, retribution with, Dominic basically getting the payback for all the, the past couple of weeks of what has happened to his father, getting his eye, I don't even want to talk about his eye because that was just as bad as it was. It looked like a bobber for a fishing net. I was like, what the fuck is that? Are you going fishing with that eyeball? Because it's like that was just bad. But Seth gets the win, and I don't know about you guys, but my favorite spot in this match was the kendo stick Russian leg sweep onto the table. I'm surprised the table even broke.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That was creative. It felt like there was too much of a setup to it. Like it took a good 30 seconds to get in position, but at the end of the day, I thought the spot was worth it. And like I said, Dominic kept proving himself. Like every time I expected Dominic to kind of botch or plunder, he didn't. Like he was great in this match.
Wow. Oh wow.
Mark, what did you think about this match, bud?
I thought like you guys said, Dominic was great. He was hitting his moves, no botches. I think I agree with you guys. He should have went down to NXT or somewhere else to season his skills, get more skills under him, like
Right.
season in second stuff. But I think he didn't pay his dues. In my opinion, he should have paid his dues like everybody else, going through the indies and all that.
Right. Now, here's my biggest question, guys. With Payback just being a week away, do you expect, obviously, this is kind of obvious. You see Seth Rollins and Buddy Murphy going against Ray and Dominic at next week's pay-per-view.
I forgot Buddy Murphy was still aligned with Seth Rollins. This pay-per-view, it's set up like subliminally a few matches for Payback, but I'm like, dude, we're fucking 7 days away. Like, what are you doing? Like,
what are you doing?
wait, shout out to you,
doing?
buddy. But
Yes, that is true. They're doing a pay-per-view next week.
Yeah.
I did see that on. Yeah, I did see that. Wow.
please tell me we're not. Please tell me
I'm
we're
not
not covering that.
No, we're not.
All right, cool.
Definitely.
So I don't have to watch it. Awesome.
Well, we're covering SummerSlam 2007 next week anyway.
Yeah. Well, which would you rather cover, though? Honestly,
I rather cover SummerSlam, to be honest. Let's just put it that way. But I mean, if we happen to talk about it, I mean, it's going to come up regardless because something stupid's going to happen.
as always.
Of course. But going on to the next match here, we had the second women's title match with the Raw Women's Championship on the line with Sasha Banks taking on Asuka. Asuka, again, in her second match of the night. Now, as me and DVD Freak and Mark had discussed earlier, this was definitely the better match. Now, one spot that really made me cringe, I believe Brian Alvarez even tweeted about it, but the Sunset Powerbomb to the outside where Asuka bounced back and her head bounced off the apron. Ouch.
I did hard.
That was scary. Yeah, I saw this match. This is when I started watching. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
DVD Free.
Yeah, I mean, this was a solid women's title match. I like I said, I kind of got invested in this a little bit, and that powerbomb, I was like, oh god, because her head bounced bad. I wouldn't be surprised if she was concussed, but like I said, this was completely superior to the first title match of the night. And it told a good story too, because I think Bayley is better at being at ringside than Sasha Banks is. I think Bayley is a much better actress. Some people may disagree with me, but I believed her as the heel manager more than I did Sasha as the heel manager. So I feel like the dynamic worked better as Bayley, the whole time she was like, "Oh, you're the greatest of all time. You're going to win. Fuck Asuka," basically. Like, it was entertaining to watch Bayley ringside as well. So you had that third dynamic. But overall, this was a great technical match.
And you know what? And like I said, Asuka taking that head, basically taking that hard hit on the head from that sunset powerbomb. But she took a couple blows to the head. I'm not sure if you guys recall, but when Sasha hit that running kick into the side turnbuckle, it looked like she just rammed her leg or her foot right into her head. And then one thing that kind of baffled me a little bit is how the commentary team were saying, "Oh, they're cheating, like Sasha Banks and Bayley were cheating," but obviously we've seen Sasha tap out and Asuka winning clean. So
yeah, I was shocked at that. I like this match. Excuse me. I really enjoyed the storytelling between Michael Cole and Samoa Joe. Somebody had a bum knee. Am I right?
yeah.
I had a bad knee. Now I do not like Michael Cole. I fucking hate Michael Cole. I do. I fucking hate Michael Cole. However, watching this match, concentrating on it, and just listening to, I actually bought Michael Cole's commentary. I was like, what the fuck is going on? This is a weird year, 2020, and I'm kind of digging Michael Cole's commentary. He was telling a story. Him and Samoa Joe were telling a story. I was like, holy shit, this thing's pretty rad. And match is great. Obviously, Sasha Banks and Asuka. Many people aren't fans of Sasha Banks, and I get it, but I love what they do in the ring. I totally dig what DVD Freak said about Bayley. Bayley makes very good facials. Like, she's a believable bitch. I mean, excuse my language, but she's supposed to be a heel. She's supposed to, play that angry fucking bitch, and she's believable. And I'm sure she's a sweetheart in person. But this is all entertainment, and she's believable. And yeah, I like this thing. That's all I gotta say. And I was also shocked that Asuka made Banks tap out. That finish kind of shocked me. I didn't see that coming.
I was kind of expecting. I mean, I wasn't expecting, but I was hoping you would have the 4 belts between Sasha and Bayley, just kind of for a while. Have them dominate the division. Have one of them turn on each other on the road to WrestleMania, and there you go. It kind of writes itself. But yeah, Mark, what did you think of this match?
I thought that was a great sequence to try to get the bank statement and the Asuka lock. It was a great sequence back and forth. And did you guys remember the DDT off the top? That was a pretty good spot too.
I love
that. Was good. That was good.
I'm not sure about you guys, but that form of the DDT kind of reminded me of Dean Malenko a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. But the way I see this going is Payback. I do believe that they're going to lose the tag team titles. At the consistency of Bayley trying to interfere in the match some way, somehow, and costing Sasha Banks, in which this match will probably lead to somewhere, maybe Survivor Series for the SmackDown Women's Championship between Bayley and Sasha. Maybe Bayley possibly making a resurgence as a babyface. Because what do you guys think of her as a heel?
I think she's all around talented no matter what she does, honestly. So I don't care regardless whether she's babyface or heel. I think she's a good heel, but I think Sasha Banks is a better heel. So if I were to turn one, I would say Bayley. Although you can tell she's having fun being a heel. So it's kind of a shame you'd have to turn one of them. But these days in WWE, you can have heel versus heel. Like, it doesn't matter anymore. Like,
yeah.
And once again, another frog splash. We must be paying homage to Eddie tonight because first we see Sasha hitting the sunset power bomb, then we see her hitting a frog splash, and prior to the night we seen like Montez hitting a frog splash, and who else hit a frog splash? There was a couple people tonight that hit frog splash maneuvers. Oh, Dominic Mysterio. I think
that's why nobody will ever forget Latino Heat. That's why he left an impression on everybody. That's why everyone. Yeah. How long? When did Eddie Guerrero pass? 05? 04?
Yep, 15 years ago, 2005.
And he's still fresh in everybody's mind 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And he left an impression. He left that Latino Heat impression. A Heat impression, I don't know. That's awesome that every wrestler takes it.
Well, little fun fact. Sasha Banks was actually at the Eddie Guerrero Raw tribute show.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that's just that's one of those. It's very impactful. Like
weird. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. And you happen to be one of the luckiest persons in the world to hold an Eddie Guerrero autographed DVD.
I also have both tribute shows on DVD as well. So
yeah.
Those are that's a pretty penny right there. I got good deals on those.
Yep. I got both. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Cool.
Yeah, I feel left out.
Mark, do you have the 10?
No, I don't have the 10. I wish I could. That 2003 box set that never existed, for God's sakes. I can never find it.
Yeah, dude, I agree, man. That 2003 box set can kiss my ass at this point.
Wait, is it 2003 box set Eddie Guerrero that you're looking for?
No, it's the...
No.
I mean, I don't want to spend too much time on it, but basically what you would do if the 2003 DVDs, on the inserts, there's this little section where you could cut out, so it was a proof of purchase, and if you sent all, 12 pay-per-views in to WWE, they would send you this really cool collector's box for 2003. And it is just slipped away from me so many times, I can't find the fucking goddamn thing. Because I have the pay-per-views, I just need the stupid box.
Gotcha.
Luckily, Mark knows my pain here.
Yeah. Well, I do now, too, since I've officially completed the 2003 year myself.
There you go.
So, I'm another guy who's struggling at the moment, but...
That's awesome.
Did you guys notice that? Did you guys notice there was a lot of code breakers hit tonight that it was not named the code breaker? The double knees. It wasn't hit. It wasn't referred to as the code breaker.
Yeah, I seen that spot. I think who was it? Asuka was trying to go for like one of those alley-oop bombs, and Sasha Banks countered it into the double knees to the face. It's like, boy, you're just applying more pressure to Asuka's skull. God forbid if she has a concussion or not. But
what's an alley-oop bomb?
Okay, listen, I've played the WWE video games, okay? So every time I used to make like superstars or go through superstars movesets, when I go to the turnbuckle spots, when they're in the sit-down position, that's what it's called. It's either called an alley-oop or an alley-oop bomb, depending on what variation you do. So I've always called it that.
I haven't played a WWE game since like 2011, so yeah.
Well, it's just something that commentary never mentions. So it's like if somebody were to hit like the Franken screwdriver, like a Scott Steiner move, nobody's going to call it the Franken screwdriver nowadays. They're just going to call it a sit down pile driver or a suplex pile driver. They ain't going to call it no Frankensteiner or whatever.
It's a damn Frankensteiner, damn it.
I vehemently hate those slow motion replays. I hate them with a passion. I hate them. They're slow motion, and then when we get to the end, speed up. I hate that. Oh, I hate that. Really.
Mark, what's your opinion on the Wile E. Coyote cam? You remember that? They don't do it anymore. It was always the ladder match, and Jerry Lawler would be like, "Oh, it's a Wile E. Coyote."
I actually liked it. That view was awesome when they fell from the ladder. That was awesome.
Yeah,
Like, that was a cool view.
No,
But I
something.
think that's so replay. Oh.
I'm not sure if you guys noticed in the Thunderdome crowd, but there was actually one of the screens that said "Fire Velveteen Dream."
yeah, I did see that.
Really? Yeah.
But it was like for a quick second, and then they literally just switched the camera, and it was like, oh, like, no, nothing to see here. So that was definitely intentional.
We also had a few cameos. We had a lion. We had Pikachu. We also had the fan with the red hat. I don't know his name, but I'm sure you guys knew who I'm talking about.
The guy with the signs?
Is that the sign guy?
The guy with the red backward hat?
Yeah, he was actually in a few DVDs. So yeah.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah. Oh, right on.
Now that's a guy I haven't seen in a long time. So for him to make an appearance in the Thunderdome, that's definitely a treat there. So anyway,
yeah. After this match was it the main event?
it was one of the main events. We had the WWE title match between Randy Orton versus Drew McIntyre. Now, I'm not sure if you guys noticed it, but I noticed it. I mean, with some of the camera angles I did. I kind of felt like this was an Easter egg with Drew McIntyre wearing the Brock Lesnar tights.
He was wearing Brock Lesnar tights?
Well, it was like it showed the sword and then the skull, like, you know, the Brock Lesnar signature skull. So I'm not sure if those were his WrestleMania trunks or maybe like a slight indication or an Easter egg saying like, hey, Brock's coming back, so you better watch your ass. But yeah, that's something that I noticed, and I was like, oh shit, I hope he doesn't come out tonight. But anyway,
oh man, come on, I'm a Brock fan. Come on.
Listen, I was at Money in the Bank 2019 when he came out.
Sorry
in the main event. I was so fucking pissed.
Okay, that's justified. That's fine. Never mind.
And I mean, the ladder match was, I mean, the Money in the Bank match that night was good for what it was until it got to the end. Because I definitely wasn't seeing Mustafa Ali win that briefcase that night. I couldn't. I just couldn't. I mean, maybe Finn Balor, but Ali, I was like, yeah, no, something's up. Something's up. And lo and behold.
Dude, that was a legit surprise. I don't think anyone predicted that.
You know, the fact that he wasn't even in the match.
Yeah. Does everybody freeze when you hear somebody's entrance music hit? Like, Mustafa Ali just looked at him and, like, don't freeze, take the briefcase. Like, does everybody freeze when they hear music? Like, gee.
Yeah. I mean, you got to build it up some way, somehow. But if that was me, if I heard the music, that's basically me or them setting me a time limit. Like, hey, you better grab it now before he kicks your ass. So, anyway, guys, what did you guys think of this match?
I think this was a very solid title match. I really did. And if you notice, not a single finisher was hit in this entire match. And that's a good indication that we'll be seeing a rematch. And I actually like that. You don't need a finisher to have a finish. I've always said that. I love the old school, a random suplex might be the finish, or a really good slam might be the finish. I'm tired of the cliche that you can only have a match end with a finish. So I really, really like this match.
But let me tell you something about this finish, though. First of all, shout out to Nick Kurtz because he's going to know what the hell I'm talking about here. He won with the old classic Kerry Von Erich backslide.
Yeah, he's a Von Erich fan, yeah.
Yep. So, as soon as Drew missed the Claymore and Randy was about to hit the RKO. He countered with a backslide. It was like, oh, that's something you don't see every day. But that was nice. That was a nice finish. And the fact that we didn't see the table break, I was kind of pretty happy about that too. It was like the first time we haven't seen an announced table break in probably who knows how long.
Well,
Yeah.
Randy Orton doesn't exactly have the best table breaking streak.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, he's had a few not breakdown, imagine. I recall.
Yeah. Mark, what did you
Yeah,
think of this match?
I did like the spot where he put the figure four because he had pumped out Flair, then he hit the super kick. I think he had knocked out Shawn Michaels. He did the little moves of the guys he had busted, so I like that. That was kind of cool. But it was a solid match. That was a good match. It's a ending with the backslide. When's the last time you seen that happen? Like, wow.
Yeah, this was
You
cool.
didn't see it coming. That's the tagline of the people. Yeah.
Oh God, we'll get to that.
JJ.
Yeah. Well, okay, you got to keep in mind I haven't been watching WWE at all. Not much. And anyways, when they showed the package for the match, I was interested immediately because Drew McIntyre was shooting on Randy Orton. The shit he was saying, he was telling Drew McIntyre was telling Orton that he's had everything handed to him on a silver spoon. I'm on a silver platter or whatever. And it's that I was shocked at that. The fact that it felt like he was shooting him, even though it was a work shoot, and then Orton pretty much told Drew McIntyre the reason why I'm more important than you is because I am more important than you. You will never be up to my level in this company. My jaw dropped when I saw that. It felt real. I haven't been watching WWE. Is this what they're doing now? Are they like going for the? Are they like shooting at each other? Is that a common thing now? Is it?
Beats me. I got I can hardly keep up with the current product as it is. So whatever they're doing,
well,
it's like
I dug that. I genuinely like that. It caught my attention. I was like, holy shit. I was enthralled. Legit. And I watched the match and they beat the shit out of each other. They were bleeding. I don't know if they bladed or if they got cut the hard way. It was the hard way or no?
That's hard way. I think everything on this card was hard way.
Yeah. I saw more than a couple people bleed, and that was all the hard way. I thought, yeah, they beat the shit out of each other. And yeah, as much as everybody doesn't like Randy Orton, I've always liked Randy Orton. He's so smooth. Got one of the best drop kicks I think in the company, if not in wrestling in general. It's so smooth, and I understand why he gets a lot of hate. The fact that Drew McIntyre told Orton he should have been fired so many times before McIntyre, that was like, whoa. Like, that kind of hit below the belt. It brought back some old issues, skeletons in the closet, if you will. And the fact that they touched on that, I thought that was pretty cool. That's something I can get into. That's something I can invest in and be like, yeah, I want to watch this. And the ending, I didn't see that happening. It was just like freaking dance. And all you said, it's going to lead to a rematch. And I genuinely want to see this next match.
well,
I do.
Let's just put it this way: Randy Orton's going to get his payback.
God.
Drew McIntyre winning with a backslide. It's like Randy Orton's not going to let him get away with that. And I think DVD3, I think you said it in the last video that you were expecting Randy Orton to actually come out as WWE champion at SummerSlam.
Yeah, and that's just kind of me being negative here, because on the current product, because as far as I know, the big plan is for Edge and Randy Orton to have their big rematch at WrestleMania because Edge he got injured at Backlash. This was supposed to be an I Quit match with Randy Orton and Edge. So they're now saving that for WrestleMania, and they want to put a title on the line just to kind of add that leverage to it. So I do think Randy Orton's going to walk out of, I guess, Payback with the title.
Right.
As against that as I am, because I actually like Drew McIntyre. He's a good champion.
Well,
so,
here's the question: do you see Randy Orton holding the title for that, that longevity, or do you see Randy and Drew, exchanging the title back and forth throughout the rest of the year?
Being realistic, just knowing this company, I could see him putting the title on Orton for that long. I really could.
Ooh.
Hopefully with no time off.
Wow.
That's
well, maybe Brock will show up. Who knows? But
yeah, I mean, we got somewhat of an Easter egg tonight, so we'll see. Leading on to the next segment, it was actually a little video package of Keith Lee is going to be making his Raw appearance tomorrow night. Now, the way I see it, this is way too soon to be calling up Keith Lee. He just lost the NXT title to Killer Cross. Supposedly, during that match, Cross injured his shoulder, and supposedly it might be a severe injury or a serious injury, which can be life-threatening for his career, which will probably lead to some type of vacating of the title, maybe a tournament. But the way I see it, if Cross is going to be out at least for a couple months, at least have Keith Lee hold on to that belt a little bit longer until they decide who they would want to drop it to, and maybe bring Keith Lee in after WrestleMania.
All I have to say about this, Keith Lee is money. Seriously. He fucking is money. I remember his Survivor Series performance with Roman. Dude, I don't watch NXT that often. I have to admit, I'm kind of more in the AEW section there. But Keith Lee is money, and I think I tweeted out a response to No DQ. I was like, dude, poor guy, because it's never good when you've gone to the main roster. And I think Keith Lee, dude, just give Keith Lee off until the Rumble, have him win the fucking Rumble as a surprise entrant. That's my thing. But whatever. I think Keith Lee, he is seriously money. He really is.
Well, if they do save
don't let Vince
Keith
Lee go.
But you know what? The way I see it is, if they do decide to keep Keith Lee for a certain amount of time, at least bring him as a surprise entrant in the Royal Rumble, and maybe lead to a match at WrestleMania against, I don't know, maybe Brock Lesnar.
I'd pay for that.
There you go.
That'd be cool. That'd be cool.
But going on to the main event of the evening, we have the Universal Championship on the line between Braun Strowman taking on Bray Wyatt, the Fiend Bray Wyatt. Now, here's a question for you guys. You think Braun Strowman got the A-Train treatment? You got the Braun Express. He's coming out to all this smoke. It reminds me of A-Train.
I like Matt Bloom, so but you know what? I'll take A-Train any day over Tensai.
Yeah, or Sweet Tea.
Yeah. I agree with that.
But you know what? Getting into this match, this was definitely not the best match, especially the end. I mean, you've seen some cool spots. I mean, you know, you have Braun Strowman running into everything. He breaks the barricade. He almost breaks the damn wall in the gorilla position. Practically turns off all the power inside there. And then it leads to him grabbing, you know, got the commentary questioning, like, is that a box cutter? Like, yeah, that's something I use at work every day. What the hell are you doing with a box
So
cutter?
Okay.
Yeah.
Honestly, I have to reign about this. I expect nothing better than this, but okay. You go into gorilla position, okay? Why the fuck is there no one in there?
Right.
That makes no sense. That is stupid. That makes absolutely no sense. Like, I don't know if they're trying to pull, like, this kayfabe thing, whether they're just backstage, but any fan knows that they were in Gorilla. So why the fuck is it empty? It makes no goddamn sense.
You know what? I think the fact of that, and they really could have capitalized on having like the retribution maybe backstage and attack Braun Strowman, having some assistance for Bray Wyatt.
Well, for a false count anywhere match, this was very conservative. Like, they only went to gorilla position. So what's the point of having it false count anywhere?
Yep.
They had the pin in the ring.
Yep, they had the pin in the ring. Basically, Braun Strowman cut up all the matting where all you saw was the boarding. And he basically pulled a thing where it's like something you would see out of wrestling video games is you hit all these moves until you knock the guy out, you know. And Bray Wyatt is surprisingly the Universal Champion once again. After he wins, we get a surprise. Now, something that I mentioned to the DVD Freak, this was the cherry on top of the dog shit. Because
You
Roman
did.
Reigns is
Yep.
back.
My question to everyone, was this a heel Roman Reigns or was this a
That's
face
what I
Roman
was
Reigns?
saying. That was a heel Roman Reigns.
It looked like a heel. Because he beat
Yes.
the crap out of both guys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was definitely a heel Roman Reigns. I mean, he just looked like he wasn't taking up the shit. I'm not sure if it's because he's tired of COVID or because he's like, hey, I'm at home and I'm not making money, so bring me back, Vince. I want to whip both their asses.
But
So
did you see his shirt? What his shirt said?
What was it?
I don't remember what his shirt said, but it was something heelish.
Wreck everyone and leave.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah.
Wreck you up and leave? Yeah, all right. That's good. When I saw that, I was like, that's gangster shit. I
Well,
kind of
that's-
looking at that. That's something you would read or hear in a rap song from Chicago. Like, I'm serious. Like, that's something you would hear in a gangster rap song in Chicago. I was like, damn it, that's kind of a cool thing. What the fuck? And then and it looked like he was swearing when it looked like he was he called them both bitches. I don't know if you've heard that.
yeah, I did.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck? Like, I was shocked. And I'm like, damn. All right.
It's not very creative because you remember Austin's shirt, raise hell and leave. So,
right.
Like,
yeah, but you can't raise hell because, oh God, it's 2020. WWE can't have that on a t-shirt. So they gotta, censor themselves. But,
and I have to reign about this. So this whole Retribution storyline has been absolute dog shit from one end to the other. And you have this video package, which it was very obvious that they wanted you to think that was going to be the ending, was Retribution, just to swerve you to be Roman. But you have this Retribution storyline, and you have the second biggest pay-per-view of the year. Why the fuck don't you capitalize on that? Make Retribution legitimate. for a second, I was like, oh God, Roman's going to be the leader of Retribution. That would have been awesome. But no, they're just nowhere to be seen during this pay-per-view. If you're looking at it from a logical standpoint, I should say, let's say you're Retribution. Wouldn't you want to show up on the second biggest pay-per-view of the year? What, they just take the night off? Like, were they just were they just jerking each other off in the locker room? Like, what the fuck was this? This was just...
Well, you know what? I don't know about that because I swear one of them's a female. So, I mean, one of them must have had to hire.
Does anybody know who it is, or have any, like, is there any leads or any...
You know something? There's been some indications that it's a couple NXT guys. One of them possibly being Donovan Dijakovic, and another one possibly Vanessa Bourne. As of the other ones,
Ciampa was rumored too, which I'm a huge fan of his. So.
Oh wow, that'd be great.
That would definitely be an interesting group, and hopefully that'd be able to capitalize as like one of the next biggest factions, at least, because on the video package that they showed the last SmackDown before the pay-per-view, there was more of them. It's like, all right, where the hell did the rest of you guys come from?
Dude, there's like
5 of you.
It's like 10 of them.
That was just like absurd. Like it looked like the Dark Order of AEW. It's like, is that what you guys are trying to pull? Like a Dark Order type of, faction?
Well, I heard it was actually Vince's way of, kind of, obviously the whole, the protests that were going on recently.
Yeah.
Which I'm the least political person imaginable, but I know a little bit about the protests, and from what I heard, Vince wanted something similar to that. He wanted some people just fucking blowing shit up for no reason. So there you go.
You remember DVD Freak? You said you wanted them to make an impact on the SummerSlam. Remember 2010? What happened to the last group that was at SummerSlam? The Nexus, remember?
Yeah, I'm a huge Nexus fan until we get to SummerSlam. So yeah,
they ruin everything.
But so that I think they definitely could have done better with the card. But who knows? Maybe it's a swerve. You got Roman coming out instead of the Retribution. Maybe Roman's gonna align himself with these possible NXT guys. Since it's like, hey, we don't have the Shield no more. Why not make Roman the leader of a possible bigger faction?
That would be amazing.
Wreck shit and leave. Look at what his shirt said. What's Retribution doing? They're wrecking shit. Bam! I'm like Sherlock Holmes in this bitch right now.
Oh God!
I figured this out right now. Bam! Look at that.
Yeah.
I don't like Roman Reigns, but I'll tell you what, I am all for him being the leader of Retribution. Seriously, that would be awesome.
And you know something? Just picture this, kind of like a modern day NWO, but you have Roman as the leader, and the two side guys, Tommaso Ciampa and Donovan Dijakovic.
Yeah.
That's, dude. Yeah. Take my money. That's great.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Take my money.
And you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if they're saving them up for next week's pay-per-view.
Payback.
Payback. Retribution. It's the same. It isn't. Oh wait, isn't it the same kind of meaning? Is it Payback and Retribution?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give you that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just like I said, I'm like Sherlock Holmes in this bitch right now. Well, give me another one. I'm like the Hardy Boys.
All right, fine. Oh God.
What me over here? Oh, I can feel your clue.
Yes, I was just gonna mention South Park.
Was it the Hardly Boys?
Yeah.
Me over here. Yeah.
I've got a clue.
I've got a clue.
It's pointing over here.
If you guys find it Did you guys find it odd there was no Alexa Bliss signing, that she wasn't there at all? After all, her being involved in the storyline, didn't you find it odd she didn't appear at all?
That was upsetting. That was.
What's her role in this, by the way? I don't know. Like,
Yeah,
is she supposed to be Sister Abigail?
No, but that's what I'm like. Why? Yes, that's it. Why she didn't appear? Braun Strowman picked her up and threw her somewhere, and I don't know what else happened to her, but she could have at least appeared.
I mean, the way I see it, I kind of look at it as Alexa as Braun's conscious at this point, basically just manipulating Braun into doing stuff that maybe he does and maybe he doesn't want to do, but at the same way, Bray's playing her as like the puppet in some sort of way. So,
Oh boy, should we get to letter grades?
all right. So going to the letter grades, I'm gonna give this a solid D because
Oh God,
D stands for dog shit, and this is exactly what it was: pure dog shit with a nice big cherry on top.
I was gonna go with a C minus. I think you had a solid Sasha Banks Asuka match. You had a solid world title match with Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre. So I can't go that low. Physically, I can't because you had two solid matches on the card. So I'll go C minus.
Okay, JJ, what you got?
Well, because I didn't see all of it, I can't really give it a fair grade. However, what I did see, I liked. I didn't hate it. So I have to give it a B plus. I have to because I didn't see all of it, and I dug what I saw. You heard me say yeah, I dug what I saw, right? I mean, so I have
a video.
See, you're lucky because you only saw like the last third of it, which was the good part. So, but
I remember you kept telling me that I was lucky. I didn't get the. Yeah.
Mark, what's your letter grade?
I would give it a C because the world title match was good. The women's title match was good. Dominic surprised me more than I thought he would, so that's why I gave it an even C for that match. I thought it was a decent street fight.
It's fair.
Good. I gave it a fair rating as I could. So I didn't get to do all. But
now I kind of feel like my grade's unfair now after hearing all the good stuff. So maybe I'll bump it up to a D plus.
Yeah, that's better. That's better.
And the G. I love it.
But anyway, guys, not sure for all you guys who tune into the Pro Wrestle Zone podcast, you guys would know myself and the Professor Rick Del Santo had an interview yesterday with former WWE superstar Duke the Dumpster Droese. So be sure to check that one out, guys.
Oh yeah.
And then I feel like we should mention tomorrow night. Or Dan, are you in for tomorrow night?
Tomorrow night is that the preview, or not the preview, but the I have no idea what's going on for tomorrow. Can you fill me in?
God, you're the one that's not drinking. Jeez.
Yeah, right.
Basically, Rick will he'll be back to give his thoughts on NXT Takeover as well as SummerSlam. So tune in for that. I know I'll be joining. I don't know if Dan, if you're going to be joining or not.
Wait, you do?
I know he mentioned it, but I wasn't really sure what he was talking about. Like, oh, are you coming in for tomorrow? And I'm just like, well, I don't know what's tomorrow, but yeah, why not? Yeah, I mean, I might as well, keep the consistency going here. But man, guys, when I tell you we have a lot of stuff planned for the Pro Wrestle Zone podcast. And the way I see it, we've already hit over 100 subscribers here, which, I got to give a toast to all you guys, especially all our guests, Mark Boy, just numerous other people who've already been on our channel. And just got to keep it going, guys, because I feel like we're at a strong point within the podcast as a whole, as a stable, and just got to keep that grind going. So who our next guest will probably be, who knows? We've had some indications. We've had some talks, especially from what I heard from the DVD Freak, but we're not going to mention it here. You guys are just going to have to tune in because it might be a robbery. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
It's that bad, but good. It's a good bad. It's like a really bad good. I don't know how to put it, but you guys know what I mean.
I don't know if we should hype that one up.
You know what? I'm going to hype it. I don't even want to get my hopes up because at the end of the day, it'll either be stuck to the promise or we'll get robbed, like I said.
Yeah. I'm more there. I think I'm there for the latter at that point.
Yeah, but you know what? We'll see. I mean, I've been trying to get in touch with a lot of other guys to come on the show. Just haven't been getting a lot of responses or no responses at all at this point. But never stop trying. So,
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, this has been the Pro Wrestle Zone podcast. Myself, Danny Beast 94. You guys can find me on Facebook at Danny Bryant. Find me on Instagram at D_Banshee187. And you can find me on Twitter and YouTube at DanTheBeast94. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, especially if you're watching my channel and you're not subscribed. What are you doing? Hit that button.
Yeah, you can find me at the DVD Freak on YouTube. I have 3 more subscribers until I hit 6,000. Come on, guys. I'm almost there.
Oh, hey.
But yeah, I gotta say, Mark, you're one of the few people I haven't had on my channel, so let's get that going. But where can we find you, man?
You can find me on MarkBoy360 on YouTube, Mark Saulnier. I am French, it's a hard last name to spell, but on Facebook and on Twitter.
Yeah, great channel, man. I got to put you over here. Great channel.
Thank you very
Mark,
much.
Mark, can you spell the last name for everybody to look like? Can you spell it for everybody to look you up, please?
Saulnier.
And that's Mark M-A-R-K or M-A-R-C?
K. Yes, M-A-R-K.
Awesome. Right on. And as for me, you can follow me at JSINNZ. I'm on everything but Facebook, most active on the Snapchat.
All right, everybody. And this has been the conclusion of our latest episode of the Pro Wrestle Zone podcast. Until next time, good night, everybody.